With me is Dr. Nixon Nyonzima, the cancer specialist here at the Uganda Cancer Institute. The last time I met you, Doctor, you were heading training and research. Do you still hold the same position?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes.
So tell us about this trial vaccine that the Merck has been working on for over 10 years now. And they told us on Wednesday that they have seen some good results, meaning we might be closer to a cancer vaccine.
That's correct. Thank you, Walter. So earlier this week, Merck and Moderna, you remember Moderna from the COVID-19 vaccines, released results of a phase 3 trial that they've been conducting. And they've been looking at a cancer vaccine in combination with immunotherapy, for melanoma. Malignant melanoma is a skin cancer, not very common in Uganda, but when it does appear, it's a very, very dangerous cancer, comes with advanced stage disease, and for most patients, there's almost no cure. So Merck and Moderna partnered to develop a cancer vaccine, a melanoma vaccine. Merck developed what we call pembrolizumab or Keytruda, which is an immunotherapy targeting a number of different cancers. And Moderna, which specializes in what we call mRNA technology, again in developing vaccines, developed the vaccine, which was combined with the pembrolizumab, and together they were able to achieve fantastic results. Now, these results, they were measuring two endpoints or two criteria that they were measuring. That is recurrence-free survival. That is the number of, or the proportion of patients who don't have recurrence of the disease or death within the period of study. And they found that recurrence-free survival was 49%. And these are excellent findings. But they also found that patients who had no metastasis of disease or death was up to 59%. What this means is, again, that this is a cancer that can be targeted with these cancer vaccines and with this immunotherapy.
Would this technology then have an impact on any other cancers, or is it specifically going to target the melanoma or that of the skin?
So potentially this technology can be used for each and every cancer. It is quite complex technology. It's called individualized neoantigen therapy. What that means is that it's a therapy that is specific to every patient and every cancer.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, how it works is that you get the tumor or the cancer of the patient. You look at the abnormal proteins that cancer is expressing, so the proteins that are not normal,
yes,
or related to normal body cells, and then you develop a vaccine that is targeting those abnormal proteins. But as you can imagine, you have to get for every patient, characterize or type for every patient, and then develop a vaccine for every patient. Now, Merck and Moderna say that they're able to produce to scale.
Yeah.
But what that means is that you need to have infrastructure. But potentially, this is a therapy that can apply to every cancer. Moderna and Merck together are already studying a number of other cancers. They're studying lung cancer, they're studying bladder cancers, and they're also studying pancreatic cancers. A lot of these cancers already have no cure, so these therapies are exciting. But again, with more science, they can be applied to almost every cancer available.
How does this reflect on countries in Africa that don't really, get enough funding towards research and science? But also, how do you take this news as, science within the continent of Africa?
One, regardless of where you are in the world, this is very exciting news.
Yeah.
It's a game-changing revelation, game-changing innovation that we can develop a cancer vaccine that can target a universal platform that you can use for practically every cancer. But for us in Africa, for example, without significant investment in innovation and science, it's going to be difficult even to apply these technologies again that have been developed. I'll give you an example. For melanoma, that for the vaccine that was used in this trial, they had to determine the mutational signature. Mutational signatures look at all the sum of the abnormalities in the cancer. Now, to do that, you have to have a robust cancer genomics or sequencing program. We do not have that program yet in Uganda. We are on the pathway towards that. It requires significant financial investment so that you're able to characterize or describe the tumor adequately at the molecular level, and then from that determine the abnormal proteins or the mutations that you find, and then develop the vaccine. Now, we're not too far theoretically. We also even have a student currently who is looking at potential vaccines or antigens for lung cancer. Now, we're using what has been published, or we are sending our samples abroad to be sequenced, but that robs us of a lot. So if we can be able to build this infrastructure locally, you're able to adequately characterize the cancers, then it's possible that even the scientists we have here can actually develop potential vaccines for these cancers. But in addition, we would be able to use the platforms that have been developed. For example, even if Moderna was to come here to develop the vaccine that they're using, again, it's individualized, so you have to get the cancer of that patient and type it.
Yeah.
We need to have the technology to type that patient's cancer. We need to be able to establish the mutational burden, and cancer globally is actually moving towards that direction of individualized cancer therapies. Very few of them are now looking at one bullet kills all. It's basically individualizing the therapy to the patient, to the cancer that patient has.
Where do we stand with the mRNA? I don't know if I should say as a country or maybe as a continent to a larger picture.
So, as I think as the country, since COVID-19, we have made some significant investments in science and innovation. However, we have not yet produced our own mRNA-based vaccine in the country, but we have significant investment in this infrastructure that we're able to produce some of these products. Again, not for cancer, but we're able to do some of this for some infectious diseases. And you've heard of some vaccines also being produced, not mRNA-based, but for ticks and for other basically infectious diseases. Now, for cancer, I can confidently say that we have not yet advanced significantly in terms of producing an mRNA vaccine in Uganda.
Yeah.
We are setting up the infrastructure at the moment, and we hope before the end of this year to have a cancer genomics laboratory to characterize our cancers locally.
Yeah.
So it is again from that data that you characterize your cancers, you have the mutational burden, the mutational signature of the cancers in Uganda, that then you can have a bank of the abnormal proteins, the abnormal tumors, that then you can use to develop this vaccine. Or you can find the abnormal proteins and then have the mRNA technology that you can use to introduce these antigens into patients or into studies such that you can produce the vaccines. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Nixon, for your time and helping us to break down these complex science things, which carry good news either way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good news wherever it is in the world, even us, but looking at the future, we need to make this technology accessible to more Africans, accessible to more Ugandans.
Yeah.
And the only way we can do that is investing and innovating within Africa.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Dr. Nixon Niozima, he is the head of training and research here at the Cancer Institute. And that is all we had for you tonight. Have a very good evening.